Hello children. As we have started doing the macro recording using OpenOffice Calc, and we have done it in MS Excel also. So now we have to learn how to create simple macros, how to create our own simple macros using the macro as a function, passing the arguments to a macro, passing the arguments as values, writing the macros that act like built-in functions, accessing the cells directly, and sorting the columns using macro. Now these are a little too advanced when we are creating macros. We are using a programming language, a coding language that is star basic, that is supported by OpenOffice. So we need to have a basic knowledge of star basic language. We can tell you a little about this in one session because it includes very detailed study of the language. So let us see what we can learn about it. When we open Calc, now whenever you are creating macros in any worksheet in OpenOffice Calc, and once you save a file, after reopening, the macros are not going to open. The file is not going to show the macros due to security reasons, because macros may include viruses. Viruses are there in the form of macros also. For that you have to go to Tools, Options, Security in OpenOffice, and Macro Security, and if it is very high, only macros from trusted file locations are allowed to run. If it is high, only signed macros from trusted sources are allowed to run. Medium, the confirmation will be required before executing the macros, and low means all the macros will be executed without confirmation. So you set it high or very high for the security reason. But your macros will not run on high and very high. If you want to run your macros, again on reopening the file, you have to set it on low or medium. After saving the file, only when the setting is on low or medium, your macro will run. Now we are creating the macro. We are creating the macro as a function. Now functions are, like you can see, there are certain functions which automatically run. These are called the inbuilt functions. I have got two values, and if I call this sum function, it is going to sum automatically for these two values. And similarly, if I call in for some other function, I can, if you know other functions, you can call average function, or you can call, there is a function called standard deviation function. So you can call any function which you want to like, or square root function for whatever the number you want. So you can call any function and get the result. These are the inbuilt functions. So I can make a function of my own using a macro. How to go about it? So I'm making a function, you can say, of any two functions, any two numbers. But before that, I have created certain function for you. For creating the functions, for recording, you had to go to record macros. Now for writing your own macros, you have to go to organize macros, OpenOffice basic. You have to use the star basic code for this. Your file is the untitled file. Here you have to create a new module as a module 1, and here we are there in the programming mode now, the coding mode, in which the main function is given to you, the default function is given to you. Now I'm creating my own function. I already have typed in for myself, so let me paste it for me. I just copy it from here, and I can go to this window and paste this function. Now this function is number 5 function, a very simple function, a number 5 function, which shows the value of number 5 as 5, and the end function. This is the syntax of ending the function. This is the language syntax which you have to follow. Now once I have done with this function. I've done with this function. I just need to call this function here. Anywhere I call this function number 5 with parenthesis, I'm going to get number 5, right? Now here, if I change this to number 6, number 5 is showing me the number 6. Let us go to the other window. Now it is not going to change the previous value, but as I give a new call for this function, it will give me the new value. So this is how we create simple function. Simple, I can call the macro as a function. So I can get anything printed, any text, any number. Now let us take another example of how to add two functions, and that is we are calling the macro from function. I'll just copy this function for you. I've created it beforehand. Now here I have got another function. I copy this for you. This is the n sum function. This is going to give me a sum of two numbers. First of all, according to the star basic rules, I have to declare the variables that I'm using in the program, in the code. The variables are the sum, a sheet, a cell 1, a cell 2. Now you'll be wondering why I'm using a cell, a sheet, all these things. Because only sheet is a reserved name, only cell 1 is a reserved name. So just to deviate a little bit, or I can take any variable name, a, b, c, x, y, z, anything. Just to make a little more descriptive, I'm using this sheet along with a, cell 1 along with a, the sum. Right, only sum is again a reserved word, so I'm not using sum, I'm using n sum or the sum. Now here it is a sheet. When I'm using the same sheet, I have to use the syntax this component dot current controller dot active sheet. This is the syntax of the language. Now first cell is a1 cell. It is from the same sheet and get cell by position 0, 1, and this will take the value from cell A2. Now you must be wondering 0, 1, how does it refer to cell A2? And same is if I get the value of cell 2 from the same sheet dot get cell by position 0, 2 get cell A3. I'll be showing you how I get this 0, 1 and 0, 2. Now here this first column and first row, they are represented with a 0 when we are giving the position of the cell. Then second column and second row are represented with the number 1. Third row and third column are represented with number 2, and so on and so forth. So if I am going to represent this cell is first column and first row, it is represented by 0, 0. If I want to represent the second column, so second column is represented by, as you can see, 0, 1. So you can see here 0 means the first column, row means 1 means the second row, and same for cell 2, a cell 2, the position is 0, 2. That means column is 1 only, that means 0, and cell is row is third row, which is represented by number 2. So here it is showing first column, second row, first column, third row. So this is, we are getting the cells A2 and A3, and the sum will be calculated by a cell get value, whatever the value will be there in this cell, a cell get value, cell will be A2, and plus a cell 2 get value, cell will be A3, and this is going to calculate the sum. The variable the sum includes the addition of these two cells, and when I transfer the sum amount, whatever number the sum has got will be transferred to n sum. n